I'm about to show you how we helped one of our marketing clients book 18 meetings with major enterprise brands entirely via cold email. Because after booking over 350 meetings via cold email, I can safely say that cold email can work for quite literally any B2B company as long as you have a strong enough offer and a big enough target market. What I honestly realized, the only thing that separates good performing campaigns from bad performing campaigns comes down to a proven framework, which I will discuss in this video. So in this video, I will reveal everything we built for this client and how you can replicate this for your own B2B company so you can start seeing similar success with cold email. So with that being said, let's get straight into it. All right, so getting into this now, I do want to introduce the client before moving further. So they are a B2B company who specialize in the podcasting industry. They want to connect to more advertisers, especially enterprise advertisers, which are notoriously difficult to actually connect with via cold email. We help them connect to more enterprise advertisers. Their problem was getting in front of the right buyers consistently. They had referrals coming in, they had deals coming in, but they never had a successful outbound system that allowed them to connect to these enterprise brands. They tried multiple agencies, they tried freelancers, they sent long corporate formal emails that never landed. So in this video, I will show you how we did the opposite of that and how we connected this client to the brands they were looking for. So in terms of the infrastructure, we prioritized 10 sending domains and 20 mailboxes. So 2 mailboxes per domain, 100% Google Workspace, all kept separate from the client's primary domain. So a big mistake, honestly, people make nowadays is that they use their primary work email to send cold emails. But the problem with that is you cannot reach out to people at scale because Google or Microsoft, they will start flagging your work email as spam because you are reaching out to so many people at such large volume at using one email account. So to de-risk this, to make sure that we are not actually being flagged by the spam filters, we use multiple mailboxes. We also prioritize 14-day email warm-up so we can actually reach out to people sending 15 emails per day per email account. This makes sure that our email accounts are actually warmed up, they're ready to start sending, good for deliverability and everything like that. Another thing to keep in mind, we are reaching out to enterprise brands. So this becomes even more important. Typically higher spam filters, they have aggressive spam filters, CMOs, heads of media, directors of brands. We want to make sure that we are reaching out to these people without being flagged essentially. So moving on to the campaign strategy and list building, it was important to consider at that time that because we are reaching out to enterprise brands, we cannot really reach out to the CEO, the owner, the founder, because they're very much not involved in the day-to-day, and also they're not really involved in marketing campaigns, performance marketing. So we had to prioritize, CMOs, heads of marketing, VPs of brands, media strategy leads who had some sort of influence and they had decision-making power, but we just, we wanted to make sure that we're not reaching out to the CEOs because they were not really relevant in this specific scenario. We prioritized enterprise companies, so 100 plus employees in the private sector. Geographical focus, so MENA-based brands, Middle Eastern, North Africa. We wanted to target companies that were similar to the successful case studies they had, so we focused in this region. They actually wanted also to have meetings in the Middle East. Now, this is also very, very important. Once we had, the list of people, the list of CMOs, heads of marketing, VPs of brand, we had to make sure that the emails are verified. We needed to make sure that we are reaching out to verified email addresses that are actually relevant and not like fake or invalid emails. A big mistake people do, they will go on Apollo, they will scrape a list, and they will just reach out to these people. That's completely incorrect because those emails are not verified. You need to put them through a third-party verification tool like Million Verifier, like Never Bounce, which can actually verify whether or not those email addresses are actually verified. So it's very, very important that you actually do this. Moving on to the copy and the messaging, the client tried before, they tried sending long formal emails. They had agencies do this for them as well. What worked here was the opposite, sending short, direct, conversational emails. So naming specific proof points like Emirates, Lenovo, Toyota, you're probably familiar with these brands anyway, but mentioning those specific brands and how it would be relevant to that specific list was very, very important. So we had a guarantee in place as well, which helped with the positive reply rate. That was for the first email. So this is the principle of the list writes the copy. It's very important that when you have a very good list, If you have a very good list, the copy kind of writes itself because you're reaching out to relevant people. The mistake people make is that they will scrape like a list of 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 people. They will reach out to this list and they will not filter it in any way. So when you have a good list, the list kind of writes the copy. Now for the second email, we avoided, just following up or like just bumping this up. We introduced an ROI calculator lead magnet. So it's kind of like a low commitment ask. We're just saying, hey, would you be open to seeing what the ROI would look like for your specific brand? And they can kind of input what their budget would be. This is kind of like a lead magnet so they can see what the ROI was. The reason why we had this was because podcast advertising, especially in that region, was not as popular, you can say, as Google ads or Facebook ads. So we had to de-risk it or kind of show them what the ROI would look like in some way. Now for the third email, we just had a first name question mark. So we were just mentioning their name. It's kind of like emotionally triggering. I just found that we get responses through that. So we just kept doing it. Honestly, what I'd do differently today, I would probably lead with a case study specific messaging. So having some sort of case study specific angle. So mentioning, hey, if we're reaching out to, let's say, telecommunication company, we would mention a telecommunication case study to make sure it's relevant for that specific brand and not mention like a travel case study or an airline case study because it's not relevant, right? So this is a little bit as to what I would do differently. So moving on to the results now, you can see in the screenshot, we reached out to 3,000 people, 25 positive replies, 263 replies. I would just mention that this is only one screenshot. We actually had multiple campaigns running for them. This is only showing you a snippet of the results that we got for them. Across the entire relationship, we booked them 42 meetings, a lot of them with enterprise brands. There were also some small to medium-sized businesses, and there were billion-dollar companies included in that list. In terms of time saved, before it was extremely time-consuming and it was a gamble. So they were mentioning this to us that a lot of the times it was time-consuming for them to do this, and it was a gamble. They wanted somebody to kind of take this off their plate. And in terms of lead quality, the leads were qualified before they got the meeting, so they were dealing with people who understood exactly what they were offering. They were mentioning that the content in the email was very straightforward, very short. It seemed to work way better than the classic standard email approach. And they also mentioned that they've been trying to connect with this huge food delivery app. It took them literally 3 years to get in touch with this brand, and we finally connected them to this brand. So just to show you the power of cold email, right? A lot of the times cold email allows you to go beyond your network. A human being can only be connected to so many people. Cold email allows you to go beyond that and connect you with the brands that and connect you with the potential clients that you're not able to connect with, because at the end of the day, your network can only go so far. So key takeaways: case studies carry in enterprise. It's very, very important. People buy from people. If you reference similar companies, positive reply rates go up. List writes the copy. Our list consisted of people who'd find case studies relevant. Meeting booking rate goes higher. Strong offer plus strong case studies equals money. The dream combination, right? An irresistible offer plus you worked on my competitor. So it's very important. Like having both of these will always be better than having one of these. So we had both. It yielded good results. So that's pretty much it regarding the video. If you are looking to outsource your outbound and looking to book consistent, qualified sales meetings or demos on your calendar, there is my booking link below where you can book a one-to-one meeting. But apart from that, hope this video is valuable and have a great day.